Are you serious? Are you serious? We have breaking news out of the Holy Lands as it relates to the peace accord or covenant with many as it's referred to in Daniel chapter 9:27. I want to thank Penny of Virginia for this report. Hamas will endorse the two-state solution deal. Fatah leaders are saying, even as the top Hamas official warned today, Monday, February 17th, 2014, against the Palestinian acceptance of an American framework peace agreement, West Bank leaders were asserting that the Islamic rulers of the Gaza Strip would in fact back a peace deal with Israel based on the national principles. Hamas Deputy Political Bureau Chief Massa Abu Marzak called the anticipated American document very dangerous, saying it would create a problem with Palestinians potentially through the final status issues. But he said, quote, I believe that those who turn to the negotiations, despite the objections of all the Palestinian factions, the PLO's executive committee, and many members of the Fatah, will not hesitate to sign an agreement despite all of the above, according to Hamas al-Rashia newspaper. Nevertheless, the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas expressed confidence during a speech to Israeli students, which to me, that is still blowing my mind. 300 Israeli students went to Ramallah yesterday, February 16, 2014, and met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. What? Are you serious? Are you serious? 300 Israeli students? They're sort of like Gideon's army, I guess. Well, get this. Nevertheless, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas expressed confidence during a speech to Israeli students and activists in Ramallah on Sunday that Hamas would back an agreement with Israel on a two-state solution. That position was reiterated by Fatah officials presented in a hall during Abbas's speech. Asked whether Hamas would endorse the agreement with Israel, Fatah's chief negotiator with Hamas said without hesitating, yes, of course they'll join. Why wouldn't they, he said. They will be obligated by the decisions of the Palestinian leadership. I am confident of this. In my opinion, the real impediment to peace is not Hamas, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his extremist right-wing government in Israel. So Ahmad pointed out that Hamas's political leader has accepted the two-state principle in reconciliation agreement signed with the Fatah back in Cairo back in 2011. One of the issues we agreed on was the right of the Palestinian people to the state on June the 4th, 1967 borders, he said during the speech. So the acceptance of a two-state outcome, Al-Hamad continues, was reaffirmed by the West Bank Hamas officials recently released from the Israeli prison in an interview with Spanish newspapers. So Israel has released 3 times 26 very dangerous political prisoners or terrorists of the state of Israel that were Palestinian. There's one more release of the last 26 to go upon the signing of this agreement. Now here's what Daniel said. In Daniel 9:27, the Bible says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he will make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Now, Jesus said these words. Remember, it's a covenant with many, but it will bring about an abomination of desolation. Jesus said it this way. When he was sitting on the Mount of Olives in Matthew 24 and was asked if he could tell him the signs of his coming and the end of the world. And Jesus said, there will be false Christ and false prophets shall rise, and they shall deceive many. Be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. And all of these are the beginning of sorrows. And then, of course, persecution will come upon Christians. And he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. And when this gospel is preached into all the world for a witness unto all nations, then shall the end come. And when you see the abomination spoken of by Daniel the prophet, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understandeth. And Paul explains to us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 about the Antichrist revealing himself, walking in the temple of God before the worshipers of God and declaring that he is God. Folks, if the Hamas leaders are getting ready to sign and are ready to sign a two-state deal, then folks, you are getting, that's not all the details are worked out. There'll still be some more pushing and shoving, but can you see what's happening? It's coming to pass. This may be a major biblical milestone, and we're entering into the 4 blood moons, and the Pope is headed to Israel on May 24th. I'll be right back. There's a lot going on. Don't you dare move. Don't even move. I'll be right back in just a moment with another powerful piece of information about the comet linear. Are you serious? Are you seriously saved?